All right, g'day, hi and welcome. Okay, so it's amazing how different this property looks right now. But I'm going to be setting up for wolves and coyotes in this area here. So I saw my dad was back here with his new backhoe. Bad news about the backhoe, guys. Looks like he's not going to take it. He's got a whole bunch of issues, so it's too bad because the guy that sold it to him, he knows really well, and it's like, it's like, oh well, what do you do, eh? Anyway, got to keep my eye peeled for bush chickens. But this is the wolf coyote lynx crossing area right here with the ice. There's a little bit of coyote tracks that I saw. Where did I see them? On the way, right here. So that's definitely a coyote track. It's not a very big one. Little bunny hopper or squirrel or bunny hopper track. There's a deer track. Wherever there's deer tracks, there's going to be wolf and coyote tracks. So they cross right around here somewhere. Between that tree and that tree. And it's like, I'd like to get some snares in here, but it's like, where do you put them that they're going to go, eh? So I'm going to wait for a little bit more snow and kind of get more of a positive confirmation. There's a fox track right here. And it's got to be a weasel track there with that tail like that. All kinds of tracks. Yeah, so it's like there's, I want enough snow so that I can say, yeah, they go here all the time, they go there all the time. I got a couple of options. The best option is to always snare their natural run, but that's not always obvious, and it's not always easy, and sometimes their run is not convenient, meaning they don't go, like they'll go down there somewhere where you can't set a snare because it's like they're not going to go up against the tree, you know what I mean? So you got to find like a laneway where they go, and if you can't find that laneway, then the next option is the easier setup, but probably the more hit and miss is to set up a baiting station. Now, when you set up your baiting station for wolves and coyotes and stuff like that, you got to bury the bait, but you got to get the bait first, and sometimes it takes some months to come to it. It really depends on the intelligence of your wolves and coyotes, which they're usually pretty smart. When I caught that last coyote, the first coyote I ever caught, that coyote walked up right up to my trap every day for 2 months. Every single day, and stopped right where the trap was. His foot would stop right before stepping on the trap, so he knew it was there. And then finally, after about 2.5 months, he was hungry enough to actually go in, and when he went in, that's when I caught him. Now that coyote was already, just to tell you the story, was already previously caught before by a undersized snare, and he still had the snare on him. And it wasn't a pretty sight, poor bugger. I killed him anyway. I was amazed he was still alive. But I was just like, if you're going to snare, use adequate snares. Like if you're going to kill it, kill it. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, some people just, I'm not a fan of snares in some ways, but in other ways, I'm like, it's the best way to go. So it's kind of hit and miss with some of the stuff, right? So, okay, I see what they did in here. Could have cleared the road a bit better, but this is my fisher territory right here. Every time I ever catch a fisher, it's always been like in this little area here. I've gotten four in my lifetime in this area. The first one, when I was 9 years old, 8 or 9, I caught my first fisher. This is back in the 80s when the fur prices were ridiculous. And I sold that fisher unskinned for $500, which bought me my very first 22, my very first rifle. My dad was like, there was a tree that was like somewhere right in the middle there in the field. And he's like, here, I'll let you set the trap. So I just half-assed set the trap. I'm a kid, right? So I don't know what I'm doing. And I had half of a dead beaver in a shopping bag, and I just hung it in the tree, and I caught the fisher on that. And my dad was setting up like these elaborate fisher traps, and I ended up catching it. Then when I caught the second one, I got $150 for it because its tail was half chewed off. So, and I got that unskinned. The last two fishers I caught were like 36 bucks and one was like 24 bucks or something like that. Like they're just not what they're worth what they used to be. But who knows? Prices could go up again. Looks like the prices went up. Like they all the fur prices went down crazy because of the thing that arrived 2 years ago. And all the auction houses were closed, and they had this overabundance of the furs, and many of the furs went bad, and auction houses went under, and all kinds of bad things. So trappers really, the past 2 years, have not been making a cent, right? And then this year, it looks like they sold 100% of all the beaver pelts that were left. So now there's a new demand. So hopefully the prices are restored. Oh, what was that? Something moving over there. Oh, it's a squirrel. That was a wild chicken. You never know, though. Those squirrels will make for you. They'll make for you. Anyway, we'll investigate.